Joining us this morning is Webb. She is one of the leaders of Bishop Accountability. Ann, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me on.
And we want to start by giving our viewers a little bit of information about your organization and what you do. We may be familiar with you from here in Providence. Some of the covers that we've done for our local diocese has been one of your talking points there. Tell us more about what you do.
And it has been one of my talking points in Rhode Island as well. I'm working on bills at the State House to change the laws. I'm here with Bishop Accountability, which is a watchdog organization. It collects data, but we're here to make the people aware, and the cardinals that are about to vote in a new pope, aware of the records of all the potential popes that they will be voting on in the next couple of days. For me personally, because I'm an abuse survivor myself and a psychologist that works with clergy abuse survivors, it's very personal. I want the world to know that it isn't as fixed as the cardinals and the Pope would like to make you believe. What I'm learning while I'm here is that the United States, which I'm often criticizing, is far more, has worked far more towards changing things than the rest of the world. So many of the countries around the world have very, very little transparency about child abuse in the priesthood, and countries are very, like 20 or 30 years behind us.
Right. So I want to learn a little bit about what's actually happening there in Rome. We understand that we're about 6 hours behind them. It's approaching or just after noon there. What have you seen so far? I believe you corresponded via email saying that you all were stopped as you were making your way towards the Basilica?
No, we were leaving on our way back to the Airbnb to do this interview.
What did you observe while you were there?
The cardinals were all in a mass, and they had it on big screens outside, beautiful music. I mean, it was a lot of pomp and circumstance. We were there to do interviews with different press from around the world. But on our way back, because I had a sign in my hand that said Bishop Accountability, so that it was just a visual for the press that we were doing, and a couple of pictures of two of the cardinals that we have found. They're the two top front runners for Pope.
They are? Do you have their names?
I do. Cardinal Pietro Parolin, who's the Secretary of State of the Vatican, and Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle, and he's from the Philippines. And we were talking to reporters about their records about child abuse.
All right. And who specifically are you speaking with to advocate for change in the papacy?
Well, we have sent letters to all the cardinals with 10 points that we want the next pope to work on immediately in the first 100 days. But mostly we're talking to the press, and we're talking to the Catholics of the world, because we don't hold a lot of belief that the cardinals will listen to us. But I think the public needs to.
We only have about 20 seconds left, but can you quickly outline maybe the top 5 of those priorities, Ann?
Top 5, we think the very first thing they could do to prove that they cared about child abuse is to remove 10 of the very worst bishops. I think that there's a pontifical commission for the protection of minors, and if that became a commission with actual teeth in it, that would be good.
And I apologize for interrupting. I want you to stand by. We want to hear a little bit more from you, because these priorities are something that will take center stage as we monitor these votes. Stand by. We will come back to you just as quickly as we can, but we need to take a quick commercial break. Thank you again for joining us, Ann, and we will speak with you soon. We'll be right back. Thank you for staying with us this morning. We are continuing our coverage as we follow the Vatican this morning in Rome, where a procession and the conclave is underway as we speak, working towards selecting a new pope. We are hearing right now from a watchdog who is in Rome at this moment and really advocating for some changes pertaining to child safety and abuse. We have Webb. She is one of the leaders of Bishop Accountability. And when we left off just before the commercial break, we were talking about some of the priorities that you all have, a list of 10, and you say number 8 on this list, which we will get online for you. But Ann, you say number 8 on this list is particularly important to Providence. Tell us what that is and why.
The eighth thing on the list is that we asked the new pope to prohibit clergy from lobbying against legislation that will change the statute of limitations for child abuse laws. Right now was the way, and we have a law before the legislature right now in Rhode Island. It's sponsored by my sister Carol Hagan McEntee, and I'm the lead person who's testifying about the bill. Mm-hmm. It's been before the judiciary in the House and about to be heard at the judiciary for the Senate in Rhode Island. So if we can outlaw that with the Catholic Church, because behind the scenes, the Catholic Church lobbies hard against this bill every single year.
And I think as we begin to wrap, we wanted to know about your stance on the next candidate. I know there are some variations between the liberalness or the liberal leanings of Pope Francis and some more conservative qualities. Can you hone in on some of the differences there just quickly?
There are a lot of differences in terms of lots of social issues. When it comes to child abuse, however, we're finding that even the most liberal candidates talk a good game, but their actions do not represent what they say. Some of them will even cry to the cameras about how much they care about what's happened to children. But when you really look behind the scenes, they don't protect children. They don't listen to the priests that have been abused. They make it very difficult for people to come forward in their countries. So that for my issue, they are all, the liberals and the conservatives are very difficult, are hard for me to support in the issue of child abuse.
Understood. And we appreciate you so much for joining us from Rome as the conclave is underway.